Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, the Metaphysical Library. In today's video, I'm going to share my TBR for the Halloween Readathon. Now, the Halloween Readathon is a 2-month readathon commencing from the 1st of September 2021 and it will continue till the 31st of October 2021. This readathon has been hosted by the DarkAcademiaBookClub, which is the brainchild of Nasya, and I will link her announcement video in the card above over here and in the description box below for you to cross-check. Now, there is a very fun bingo board which Nasya has created over here. I hope you can see this. And the criteria, there are only 2 criteria. The first criteria is either we try to go bingo with 4 books anyway across, or direct or diagonal, etc., or we try, and the second option is that we try and read as many books we can to check off all the boxes on the bingo board, as well as we can double up of course on books, but we should read maximum of the books and complete all the prompts. So I have a massive TBR. Of course, the TBR which I've chosen, most of them do fulfill or can be doubled up as well on the prompts, but in case if I can't finish them, then obviously there's a prompt which can, or there's a book which could always double up on the prompt. So to know more, do please join me further in this video. books themselves. Now, I will be sharing the books which are corresponding to the prompts across the first horizontal row. So the first is to read classic literature spooky read. So for this I have chosen to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now Frankenstein, as we all know, is a classic Victorian Gothic literature, and it is also I mean, it falls under the category of steampunk as well. And this is one of my favorite novels which I had read before when I was a teenager, and the story goes around a very inquisitive and curious scientist or doctor who wants to recreate a human from by assimilating various parts, and by trying to prove that humans do have an element of electricity running within them. So they basically do use electricity to revive dead human beings, to show that human body is definitely run by very minor electric pulses. So he ends up creating a body of a man, and when this creature, as it is referred to in this particular novel, awakens, he is not exactly aesthetic, as well as he's quite gruesome, and is not very happy with it, and he flees from there and abandons his creation. Now this creation, or this creature of man's creation, has to try and figure out his own way in the world, and of course he is shunned and ostracized from the society because he looks horrible, and he does not have the aesthetics to stay within the human society. However, he tries to understand the philosophy of life, the philosophy of creation, as well as how it implies to his own creation. So this is the journey, and it's quite interesting, and it's written beautifully. So that will be the first book which I choose for this particular readathon. Now the second prompt is to read a book in a series. So for this I have chosen to read Anna Dressed in Blood, which has been written by Kendare, and there is another concluding book which completes this duology. And from the back of the book it reads as: just your average boy meets girl, girl kids people story. Cass Lawwood has inherited an unusual vocation. He kills the dead. So did his father before him, until his gruesome murder by a ghost he sought to kill. Now, armed with his father's mysterious and deadly orthome, which is the ritual knife, Cass travels the country with his kitchen witch mother and their spirit sniffing cat. Together they follow legends and local lore, trying to keep up with the murderous, dead-keeping pesky things like the future and friends at bay. When they arrive in a new town in search of a ghost the locals call Anna Dressed in Blood, Cass doesn't expect anything outside of the ordinary: track, hunt and kill. What he finds instead is a girl entangled in curses and rage, a ghost like he never has faced before. She still wears the dress she wore on the day of a brutal murder in 1958, once white but now stained red and dripping in blood. Since her death, Anna has killed any and every person who has dared to step into the deserted Victorian home, or Victorian place which she used to call home, and she, for whatever reason, spares his life. It's the old boy meets girl story. If the boy is a wry, self-destructive ghost hunter bent on avenging his father, and the girl is a homicidal ghost trapped in a house full of everybody she's ever murdered. Needless to say, Cass and Anna are the new favorite twosome. So that's the brief premise of this particular book, and it's actually a reread for me. I have read this long ago. Now the third prompt is to read a book that is also a movie. So for this I have chosen to read The Woman in Black. I'm sorry, my ring light is shining on it, and I hope you can see it now. So this has been written by Susan Hill, and I believe everybody knows the story over here. It's about a young lawyer who is newlywed, and he loses his wife, and he and his son move away to another village town which has its own secrets, and he has to live in a haunted house, and he has to live in the same property. There are some legal things which he needs to wrap up, and therefore a lot of things unfold, and finally he has to work out the mystery why this place is haunted and what happens to him after that. So that's the brief premise of this particular book. However, this is also a movie, and I do have the DVD of this, so I'll be watching this as well. This would also probably fulfill another prompt which will come further. Now the next prompt across is to read a book with 4 wives but no spook. So for this I have chosen to read the Tantric Curse, which has been written by Anupama Garg. And the reason I chose this particular book is because autumn is a time for the arrival of the red goddess Durga in the land of India. So it's usually Durga Puja, which is a festival of colors and a festival of femininity, as well as there is no spook over here, but of course there are magical practitioners known as tantrics, and this book is somehow related to it. And from the back of the book it reads as, she is the new face of Tantra. She will reach the heights of sadhana that no one has ever reached in her lineage. The goddess herself blesses her. She is gifted and will have to understand how to use her powers with wisdom. On an Amavasya night, Amavasya is the dark moon, 8-year-old Riya mysteriously lands on the door of Shaktidham, a tantric house of worship, in a trance. Realizing that she is blessed with unusual faculties, the guru of Shaktidham, Satya, chooses her as a disciple over his son Krishna to carry on his lineage, a privilege previously bestowed only to males. But the lineage has been cursed for generations, and it is up to Riya to either break the curse or perish in the attempt. Will she succeed in her endeavor, or will her love for Krishna become an obstacle in her path? The Tantric Curse is an unusual story set in the world of Tantra that aims to dispel most of the myths about the practice, will keep you spellbound till the very last page. So Tantra means a lot of spiritual power, a lot of magic, a lot of ghosts and ghouls as well, and a lot of discipline and a lot of blessings. So yes, this book is all about it, and I chose this book because usually during the autumn time we do have the herald of the red goddess. So yes. And the last book in the series is called, the last prompt in the series is a spin-off or a retelling of a classic spooky read. And for this I have chosen a retelling of Frankenstein, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. And this is about the story about a woman who goes to live with young Victor Frankenstein, and what happens after that. So from the back of the book it reads as, Elizabeth Lavenza hasn't had a proper meal in weeks. Her thin arms are covered with bruises from her caregiver, and she is on the verge of being thrown into the streets until she is brought to the home of Victor Frankenstein, an unsmiling, solitary boy who has everything except a friend. Victor is her escape from misery. Elizabeth does everything she can to make herself indispensable, and it works. She is taken in by the Frankenstein family and rewarded with a warm bed, delicious food, and dresses of the finest silk. Soon she and Victor are inseparable. But a new life comes at a price. As the years pass, Elizabeth's survival depends on managing Victor's dangerous temper and indulging his every whim. No matter how depraved, behind her blue eyes and sweet smile lies the calculating heart of a girl determined to stay alive no matter the cost, as the world she knows is consumed by darkness. So this is a very interesting read. I'll be reading this for the first time, so let's see where we get from here.